All right, so we had what ended up being an actually surprisingly fun game. I mean, there was so much chaos that happened in that first half of big swing plays back and forth. All of these, plays that are like, taking 5+ points off the board in terms of like EPA in several of them. So that was fun. And the main thing, I think, the main takeaway from this game is like the Packers offense is still really good. And I know you could say it's the Bears. The Bears aren't very good. That's all fair. And that's all going to be kind of implied, I think. But I thought the Packers did really well. I thought Aaron Rodgers played very well. And I thought this coaching staff was just, it's, at the top of their game, at the height of their powers here in this Matt LaFleur system. It seems like anything they want to do, they can do. And they'll basically just say, play whatever coverage you want. We have a way to beat it, and it's really hard to beat a team like that. So the Bears weren't able to do so, even with some swing plays going their way. Although, again, you could easily sit here and, if you want to, and be a doomer about the Packers and say things like, well, I mean, their special teams was an issue, which it was. Like, they need to clean that up for sure. You could say, Fields doesn't turn the ball over those couple of times. Do the Packers still win? Well, A, you generated those turnovers. And B, you could easily kind of do the flip side and say, well, what happens if, they don't get those kind of easy touchdown type plays? So yeah, I don't know. Let's just get into the film study, talk about what I want to talk about, which is really the Packers offense. So let's start things off with something very simple, something like this, where what's going to happen on this play is, this is as simple as it gets in football, really, but it's something that not enough teams do, and I like how, a lot of times, honestly, the more I learn about football, you kind of realize that the best head coaches and the best offensive/defensive coordinators are the ones who are just willing to do the simple stuff sometimes. And this is a 3rd down and 3. They're just running a pick play to Davante Adams, their best wide receiver. It's simple, but what are you going to do if you're trying to stop this for Chicago? Think about the coverage they have. It's a cover 1 man blitz because they want to be able to cover quickly, and man typically helps you do that. But in this pick play, it's going to be really difficult. Watch how right when this play begins, you're going to notice that Adams is just easily wide open right here. Like, one thing you could do is just sort of almost like basketball, you have players just switch. Everyone kind of takes a guy over, which would allow for Adams to be covered. But teams don't really do that in the NFL too frequently because it can result in miscommunications, which can result in explosive plays. So just doing stuff like this is a very simple way to have success. Watch, Rodgers hits Adams because, of course, he's going to hit Adams in that situation, and Adams is able to run and pick up a first down on that play. So just little stuff like that right off the bat. It's how Matt LaFleur is able to help his team out. And that's what an offensive coordinator's job is to do, make things easier on the offense. The touchdown to Jones was very similar, where what's going to happen is that it's going to be a cover 3 zone. And the concept that, and this is kind of where, again, as an offensive coordinator, where you're, what you typically do can help set things up. We generally think of this in a play action scenario where, okay, play action, you run the ball enough that it can get players out of position. This play actually is a play action as well. And while that does work, it doesn't have to just be play action. You run a similar concept like what they're doing here, and then you can start to build off of it, because this is not all that Green Bay is going to be doing. Aaron Jones will eventually be running towards the top of the screen, and what you do is, with Adams running over the middle, typically the deep corner, who is currently going to be on the top right-hand corner of the screen, he's going to move further in to cover Adams. Watch how right when this play begins, you're going to see Aaron Rodgers runs the play action, and then he throws over to Aaron Jones here, who is just completely open. However, I've circled 2 players, not just 1, right? Of course, and there is, a defensive lineman who was in the area who could potentially make a play. I think he was actually dropping back in the coverage on this one, and Rodgers couldn't see that because of the, his own offensive lineman. He couldn't see over it right away, at least. However, he does, I think he does read this eventually, because this throw is going to be exactly where he needs it to be. I mean, look at that. That's just perfect. So either it just, happened to work out that way, or Rodgers saw it and made a pinpoint accurate throw. Either way, again, great play call by Matt LaFleur. This is good stuff. Usually you see these kind of concepts with tight ends. I like the idea of a play action and then having the back be the guy who runs out there. I think that's pretty fun. And it worked out. And to be clear, I'm giving LaFleur a lot of credit right here, and rightfully so, but I want to be very clear in the fact that it's not only Matt LaFleur that is the reason why this Packers team is having success. I'm not trying to take anything away from Aaron Rodgers, because he made some incredible throws in this one as well. Maybe none better than this one, where it's going to be a 3rd down and 18. This is in the first quarter. And this is one that, quite frankly, I thought was about to get picked, but it was a perfect throw. Because think about what Chicago is doing. They're playing coverage. They're keeping things in front of them. They're cool with giving up 15 yards right here. And so right when this play begins, what you're going to notice is that Aaron Rodgers is going to throw this ball. And right here, this is where it looks like, oh my God, is he about to throw an interception? It looks like there's a player further deep. I'm assuming there was some sort of zone buster, but they never showed the All-22 here, so I can't say for certain whether that's the case or not. What we do know is that there is definitely a window for this throw to be made, but not a very easy one. You have to get it over the Chicago players who are covering the middle of the field, so it's definitely a pretty difficult throw to make. However, Rodgers does make a perfect throw, and they're able to pick up a big gain there. So good job. Again, this one might have been a good play call by Matt LaFleur as well. I just can't tell. But really good throw from Rodgers. So obviously it works together. Good play caller can only do so much with a bad quarterback, but can do a lot with a great quarterback. And they have a great quarterback paired with their great play caller and some great players on top of it, so that helps. A play like this was also pretty interesting. So what's going to happen here is that it's going to be one thing that's fascinating is it looked like it was actually supposed to be a running play, but Aaron Rodgers is going to check out of it pretty quickly. It's going to be man coverage, and it's kind of like a goal line type situation despite not actually on the goal line, but it's a 2nd and 1, and Chicago is trying to stop the run here, so the Packers are going to take advantage of that. Even 5 minutes and 25 seconds left in the game, you're still seeing some really good play calls. Watch how right when this play begins, so the first 2 Green Bay players who are lined up to the left do a good job of taking away those 2 Chicago Bears players, but now you have a tight end who's just left completely unaccounted for, and this is just kind of that, what that check at the line can do. So little stuff like this, again, it's nothing crazy. This isn't anything that teams don't do, but like I said, the best offenses are the ones that do the simple stuff correctly. The best head coaches are the ones who call the simple plays, and the best teams are the ones who can execute it, and that's what Green Bay did. Look, good throw from Aaron Rodgers, and they're able to pick up a 1st down right there. They would eventually get a touchdown on this drive. So, good stuff by them for sure, I would say. So, yeah, interesting game. Aaron Rodgers ends up with 341 yards and 4 touchdowns, so that's going to help his MVP case on only 37 attempts. So interesting, obviously Rodgers and Brady's careers are so intertwined at this point in their careers that's kind of funny. They're both competing for an MVP shot as well. And also, a fun game. It's even like at the end there when the Bears tried to, make the comeback with the onside kick and that craziness. But yeah, a good win for the Packers. That's what I think. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. What are your thoughts on this Green Bay Packers victory? And honestly, another victory is if Lamar Jackson can't go next week, that kind of makes the most difficult game on your schedule a lot easier. So obviously we all hope Lamar is okay, but if you're a Packers fan, you're saying, well, sucks you're hurt, but at least we get the benefit of not having to play you. So yeah, that's what I think. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.